Washington's diplomatic push continues as the U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff is set to meet Ukraine's security chief in Miami, days after his talks with President Putin in Moscow. President Trump says the Moscow meeting was reasonably good, but the path ahead remains unclear. Meanwhile, Russia has repeated its hardline demands on eastern Ukraine, warned the EU over frozen assets, and flagged new risks from Western support for Kiev. Nishchoy Roy has the report.
In a week marked by intense diplomatic maneuvering, Washington and Kyiv are at the center of efforts to shape the future of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff will meet Ukraine's National Security Council chief Rustem Umerov in Miami on Thursday. The talks follow Witkoff's high-profile meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow, which President Donald Trump called reasonably good, though he added the next steps remain uncertain.
President Putin had a very good meeting yesterday with Jared Kushner and with Steve Witkoff. What comes out of that meeting, I can't tell you, because it does take two to tango. You know, Ukraine, I think we have something pretty well worked out with them. They're very satisfied, considering. But the sad part is, if I were president, no war would have ever happened.
Trump has said Russia very strongly wants a deal to end the war. Yet Moscow's stance indicates tough negotiations ahead.
He would like to end the war. That was their impression. Now, whether or not, that was their impression. You know, their impression was that he would like to see the war ended. I think he'd like to get back to dealing a more normal life. I think he'd like to be trading with the United States of America, frankly, instead of, losing thousands of soldiers a week. But their impression was very strongly that he'd like to make a deal.
Russian President aide Yuri Ushakov has confirmed that Putin and Witkoff discussed Ukraine's possible NATO membership. Before the Florida meeting, Putin repeated Russia's demand that Ukrainian troops withdraw from eastern territories, terms Kyiv continues to reject. Tensions rose further as Russia warned the EU against any illegal action on its frozen assets, promising a harsh response.
Obviously, any illegal actions involving our state reserves and assets will not go unanswered. We have stated this repeatedly. Such a response will come not only from us, but of course from the international community as well.
Moscow also criticized Denmark for producing fuel for Ukrainian long-range missiles, calling it a risk of escalation.
This adventure confirms totally hostile and militaristic Copenhagen's course, which alongside some other aggressively minded against Russia countries, obstructs any efforts to resolve the Ukrainian crisis via political and diplomatic means.
Meanwhile, Britain signed a major defense deal with Norway on Thursday, building on the Nordic countries' $13 billion purchase of UK warships at a time of heightened threats from Russia. These engagements come amid growing concern in Kyiv and Europe that early American peace ideas lean too far toward Moscow. With major powers now stepping up diplomacy, the coming days may signal whether real progress is possible. Nishchoy Roy's report for DD India.